Only 12 years ago, Scunthorpe were unlikely contenders in the EFL Championship. Today they find themselves 8 points from safety, bottom of League 2. A 2-1 win in that season's championship against eventual winners Newcastle was probably the high point of Scunthorpe's entire existence, and that's why I really do think you should rebuild them on FIFA 22. Since that win, there's been 15 new managers through the door, there's been fan boycotts, there's been boycotts of the press not being allowed in the stadium at all, and they've been relegated twice. Only looking back to FIFA 19, Scunthorpe were a League 1 playoff level team. They had a simple existence, with their goals simply being reach the FA Cup third round and sell a quality player for a couple of million every other year to make sure they remain sustainable. To rebuild them, you'll have to stretch their budget as far as you can. £1 million isn't awful for League 2, but realistically you'll need to sign at least 5 players to improve your squad if you want to push towards the playoffs. It doesn't mean the squad you start off with has no talent. In fact, there are 3 players in particular that you should definitely keep an eye on. Matheson is incorrectly a permanent transfer on FIFA 22 and in real life he's actually on loan from Wolverhampton Wanderers, but his 61 rating makes him a first team right wing back even though he's only 18 years old. He's got Premier League potential if you play him consistently, and I do recommend you do play him at right wing back in a 5 at the back formation. On the other wing-back position, I recommend you keep a look at Mason Malley. He's playing on the opposite side to Matheson and he is a similar age at only 20 years old. He should keep growing until he's a championship playoff level player, and he has really good stats for a 5 wing-back formation. So he's got good stamina, he can jump really well, he's got decent pace too. And in the middle of these two, you'll probably have Emmanuel Onorarise. So he's going to be good enough for League 1 if you get promoted. He's super strong, he might lack a little bit of pace, but he's more than good enough for the middle centre-back in a 5 defender formation. Scunthorpe is one of those typical small town teams. With no other sports really being played in the town, almost every person that lives there supports Scunthorpe United. With Lincoln City being the only other team in Lincolnshire that play in the Football League, Scunthorpe do prefer their rivalry with the closer Hull City. Being one of the least populated counties, there isn't that much support to fill the stadiums like you'd see in a similar sized Manchester or London based club. They did manage to win League 1 in 2009 despite having the 3rd smallest budget in the entire league, so that's how you'll have to rebuild. Your rebuild will be similar, focusing on signing as few players as possible, buying into a philosophy, and you'll have to hope a few of your players pay off, like their signings Andy Keogh, who they bought for £200,000 and sold for £850,000, Billy Sharp, who they bought for £200,000 as well, but sold for £2 million, and Gary Hooper, who cost £400,000, but they sold for over £2 million to Celtic. All these players really did contribute to Scunthorpe's original rise, so hopefully you can find some players who are similar and can help you get your own rise to the championship. If you are someone who likes to re-sign former players, all 3 of these players still play and are active on FIFA 22. With Gary Hooper playing for Wellington Phoenix, Billy Sharp of course at Sheffield United, and Andy Keogh playing for Perth Glory in Australia. The squads do need to be rebuilt using a low wage and short contract system. Scunthorpe do try to do this in real life. Very few members of the squad have more than £3,000 a week on their contract, and even less than that have more than 1-year deals. So with a Category 3 academy, you're also going to be struggling in that area too. If I was playing this as a rebuild, I would restrict myself to a single 1-star scout until either finances improve or you manage to get to League 1. The end goal is simple. You're going to be trying to compete in League 1 with the likes of Sunderland, who get 35,000 fans, or Sheffield Wednesday, who get over 20,000 fans, while you are only pulling in 3,500 fans a week. However, the first season's goal is simply to not finish last in League 2, which Scunthorpe fans of course would love to see in real life. So that's a quick rundown of the entire rebuild. What you need to do is sign very cheap players, try and sell them for a lot more than you buy them for. You're going to have a pretty bad academy, so you can't rely on that like normal, and you're going to have to try and get promoted with all of these restrictions, even though you do actually get a decent amount of transfer budget. I think it would be a fun save. You'd probably be able to make it last 4 or 5 seasons, depending on how long it takes you to get to the championship. Of course, you can go further than the championship. If you want to try and get Scunthorpe into the top division for the first time in their entire history, you've got a little bit of a harder challenge there. It would be a cool one if you can try and bring some of your League 2 players up. People like Luke Matheson, of course, like I said, are Premier League potential if you do keep playing him the entire time when he's getting good ratings, but Mason Malley is also another one, and you do have a couple of players who are rated in the mid 50s, but they do have high 70s potential, so try and figure out who they are and start playing them in the Cup and eventually the league as soon as possible. Hopefully this has given you a good idea for a good save. If you do the save, make sure you like the video and leave a comment below letting me know that you've done the save, because it's always fun to see who people choose. Scunthorpe are a team that is fairly close to my heart. They're from the same county where I was born, in Lincolnshire, so I always do like to see Lincolnshire clubs doing well. Lincoln City, of course, are the current standout team in the county, but Scunthorpe's the only other one on the game. So if you can try and get them back to the same level as Lincoln or even further into the Championship, then I would really love to see it. Make sure you follow me on Twitter if you're interested in that kind of thing, join the Discord if you want to chat to me, and hopefully subscribe if you want to see more videos like this in the future. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you very soon for another video. Thank you and goodbye.